We put in a brand new garden this spring and I needed a fence, so I decided to make a wattle fence completely out of bamboo. We have one really big patch of bamboo on our property, which was great because I needed a ton of bamboo for this project, and bamboo grows back really fast. After cutting a lot of it down, we already have lots of new growth. Some bamboo has already just shot all the way up because it does grow so fast. For the fence posts, I cut down the thickest pieces I could find, and then for the weaving pieces, I cut down thinner pieces so they'd be easier to weave. After I cut the bamboo down, I would strip the leaves off, and this took the longest time. I was just taking all the leaves off of the bamboo, and I just got a small hatchet and kind of chopped downwards. So I would just get like a big pile of it and sit in the shade and do this. This took a really long time. I cut the ends of the bamboo at a slant so they'd be easier to push into the ground, and then I spaced them out about 15 inches apart. I pushed them into the ground about 1.5 feet, which was easy on this side of the garden because it's kind of wet. There's a little creek behind me, but on the other side I had to get like a rubber mallet and pound them into the ground. And I just started the weaving part with the thinner sticks of bamboo. I started all the way down at the end, and then I would put the bamboo up at the top, weave it, make sure it was front and back on each one, and then push it all the way down. The closer together your stakes are, the tighter weave you'll have in your fence, because at first I had the stakes spaced farther apart and it was really loose and harder to weave, so make sure I wouldn't do any less than 15 inches apart. And you just keep weaving the thinner pieces of bamboo back and forth until you get to the desired height that you'd like. You also want to use the bamboo that you cut within 2 to 3 days so it's easier to work with. So I would just cut down like small amounts and work with what I had unless I was ready to use it all at one time. Every time you start a new row, you just want to make sure that you're going in the opposite direction of the previous row. So the bamboo's on the left side, and now I'm going to start it on the right side, and then just weave back and forth, back and forth. When you're continuing a row, make sure you start on the bamboo piece that you ended with. So I would start the new piece right here. So I'd start right here on this piece, and then the next piece I would be behind that piece of bamboo. So I weaved the wattle fence pretty tightly until I got up until my hip, and then from there I just did 3 loose rows that made kind of square sections to finish off the top. I did each row about 10 inches apart, and then the last row went right at the top of the bamboo, and then you can just go through and trim off the tops of the bamboo so it all looks even. And for these top 3 rows, I just did 2 sections of bamboo, so I weaved all the way down and then all the way back. One thing I forgot to mention earlier is that when you first start weaving at the bottom, your fence is the main stakes are kind of gonna go back and forth and look really uneven, but it will straighten out the more you go. So don't be worried if they look really uneven at first. Like I said, the fence will get tighter and straighten out the more you weave it. And this is the side of the fence now that it's all finished. You can make the weaving as tight or as loose as you want it. There's really no wrong way to do it. You could do a different pattern at the top. You could weave it tight going all the way up. And I haven't trimmed the top pieces off yet, but you could go back through and do that if you wanted to look a little bit neater. I waited a few weeks before I started on the other side of the fence, but that side went much quicker since then I knew what I was doing. And so it took me about a day to gather all the bamboo and prep it and get it ready. And then it took about another day to weave that whole side of the fence. On the front of the garden, I just did a wire fence. That way, if I want to expand the garden in the future, I can just take that off and put another bamboo fence on. Thank you for watching, and hopefully we'll have an updated house video on here soon.